When I first married my wife, I believed she was the love of my life. We built what I thought was a happy home, and our little boy was the center of our world. Or at least, that's what I believed. I worked long hours to provide for them, and even though I often came home tired, seeing my son's smile always made everything worth it. But over time, I started to notice things changing with my wife. She was distant, spending more time on her phone, making excuses to leave the house, and treating me like I was just some background character in her story. I suspected she was cheating, but I didn't want to believe it. I thought, she's the mother of my child. She wouldn't do this. One evening, I came home earlier than usual. My son was sitting quietly in his room, withdrawn, which was unlike him. He usually ran to me when I walked through the door. I sat beside him and asked what was wrong. He hesitated, then broke down crying. Through his sobs, he told me something that shattered me completely. My wife and her so-called friend weren't just betraying me, they were cruel to my son when I wasn't around. They yelled at him, locked him in his room for hours, and treated him like a burden so they could have more time together. I felt fire in my chest. Betrayal is one thing, but hurting my boy, that was unforgivable. My son showed me messages he had secretly taken pictures of on my wife's phone. Messages between her and her lover laughing about how the kid gets in the way. My hands were shaking as I read those words. I knew then this wasn't just about infidelity, it was abuse. I kept calm for my son's sake, but inside I was a storm. The very next morning, I went straight to the police with the evidence. They took it seriously, and when my boy bravely told them what had been happening, it was enough to press charges. My wife and her lover thought they were clever, but they didn't see what was coming. The day they were both taken away in handcuffs, my son held my hand tighter than ever. He looked up at me with tearful eyes, whispering, "Are they gone, Dad?" And I promised him, yes, they were gone, and they would never hurt him again. It was the hardest, most painful chapter of my life. Losing the woman I thought I loved was nothing compared to the rage I felt over what they did to my child. But in the end, justice was served. My wife and her lover are sitting in jail where they belong, and my boy, he's healing. Every day I remind him that he's safe and loved. Sometimes people think betrayal only destroys marriages, but in my case, it almost destroyed my son's innocence. I'll never forgive them, but I'll always be proud that I chose to protect my child, even if it meant tearing my world apart. P.